I call this deck Defensive Beatdown. It is a 2002 LOB yugi-kaiba format deck variation of Stall Mill. It basically has two win conditions. First one being to stall out the opponents until you gathered the resources necessary to overpower them. This requires the opponent to waste their reinforcements, man-eater bugs, and fissures early on in the game to get rid of the 2k walls in this deck, which there are plenty of. First up, I play triple Giant Soldier of Stone. Who has the highest attack amongst the 2k walls, and is closely followed by Aqua Madoor, who has 1200 attack. Both can be used offensively to forcefully trigger opposing flip effects and identify Wall of Illusions on the opponent's side of the field, to deal with them by means of Fissure mainly. The next two monsters in theory could fulfill the same purpose, running over man-eater bugs, but we risk paying over 1000 life points if we were to run into opposing Wall of Illusions when attacking with them, so we rather only stall and wall with them. The two monsters being Mystical Elf, with only 800 attack points, and Spirit of the Harp, with the same stats. The last wall I picked is literally a wall, namely Wall of Illusions. If we feel comfortable enough that the opponent attacked into our walls multiple times, losing both life points and resources like fissures or man-eater bugs to cope with our walls, we can switch to offensive mode. Besides Aqua Madoor and Giant Soldier of Stone, our main beat sticks are 2 Summon Skulls and 3 copies of Jinn, the Mystical Genie of the Lamp. The opponent is likely gonna save his only outs on them, being his trap holes, until he faces them. I play 2 Trap Masters to cope with this only issue this deck runs into. Outs to opposing Summon Skulls or even Blue Eyes, White Dragons, that could pick apart one by one our defenses include 3 man-eater bugs, 3 fissures, and 3 copies of Trap Hole. Two copies of Swords of Revealing Light, which is semi-limited, are there to forcefully trigger hostile man-eater bugs and for stalling purposes. That being said, this deck has 2 win conditions. So far I only focused on the first one, being out-resourcing the opponents and bait out their monster removal cards on our walls, only to make room for our own offense to overpower the opposition. If this strategy fails to deliver, mainly due to opposing trap holes, we resort to strategy number 2, Stall Mill. We recall correctly that card destruction was a 2 during LOB format. We want to use these 2 copies in our favor, namely to deck out the opponent by saving card destruction up to the very end of the game, setting all of our cards and making the opponent discard more cards than we do, and at the same time draw more cards than we do. It is a bit tricky if the opponent sees through that, because he can resort to the same strategy of placing all of his cards on the field in the late game. Saving a Raigeki for those kinds of situations is always fruitful, and combining it with a saved copy of Monster Reborn even more so that we can switch strategies in the late game again and resort to playing more aggressively at the end. Summing up both strategies, it is fair to say that this deck is no autopilot helmet deck. Overextending is always risky, especially monster-wise in this format, and we always have to consider what the opponent makes of our moves and if he is aware of our strategy. So mixing offensive with defensive moves might be a general rule to succeed when piloting his deck, so as to catch the opponent off guard if we manage to confuse his mind. Always keep your card destruction till late game for that reason. Or, alternatively, activate it when you feel your opponent has to draw more cards than you would have to draw, if you were to activate card destruction in an early state of the game or during mid-game. This being said, I come to a close with presenting to you the final 6 cards I chose for this deck. Obviously I chose the Power 5, being Pot of Greed, Monster Reborn, Change of Hearts, Raigeki and Darkhole. And last off, one techie Ultimate Offering to flood the board right before you activate card destruction and get rid of your monsters in your hands, or to flood the board with Jinns and Summon Skulls to push for game. That's it for the deck. As always, the decklist can be found in the video description. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, feel free to leave a comment down below and like the video. Thank you for watching. Bye.